Good afternoon, everyone. Uh, Anyone having doubt regarding yesterday's session? And how many of you completed your portfolio? Okay. So, ma'am, for the attendance, there is any form or I have to take orally? Kanika, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Kanika, ma'am? Ma'am,
Yes,
are you
ma'am.
taking the attendance or I have to take?
Ma'am, I'll take.
Okay, okay. So, guys, anyone having doubt regarding yesterday's session? Now, today I'm going to give you one task. But before that I will show you something. First we start with data types. We have learned data types yesterday, so now I am going to explain you different type of other data types like list, tuples, statements. Before that, first we learn input, how to take input in a Python. So taking input in a Python, we have two ways: input and the statement we want to input. Like here, it could be any sentence, or it could be any string, or it could be any value. And here is raw input. Raw input generally we use in a Python 2. We mostly use input in Python 3. So we are further going with the input 3. So if we are writing it value, that's equals to input val. Here val is a variable that are storing a value. Enter your value. So enter your value. The value of this variable val is 123, 123. So this is how we take input in a Python.
Ma'am, do you sharing the screen, ma'am?
Yeah, sorry, wait. Actually, I'm sorry. My screen is visible, guys.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So here we are taking input in a Python. So it is val. Val here is a variable that we are creating, and it is storing a value that we are inputting it. The input function is used to insert a value in a variable, or insert a value in a list, or any kind of data type. So when we write input, we could make it. Uh, we could also remove this single apostrophe. Let me show you. Here, if we remove this statement from input, it only takes the input. It does not display what we are going to insert a value. So if this we run this file first, there is something nothing in a cursor command. So we write like 5. Now we enter. So output is 5 because we are printing this value. So this is the function used, input function used to insert a data in a data type, different types of data type. We write here comment. We can write here comment or any statement to just show the details that we are inserting here something. Okay, so this is input function in a Python. Now
Ma'am, can you
taking
repeat
input.
once again, ma'am?
Okay. So in Python, we are studying about taking input from the user. If yesterday we declare a variable with a defined value, particular value, like a variable is value have is equals to 5. So this is the value that is fixed to variable. If you want to insert value from the user side, you don't want to give it a definite value, you want that someone other user could also insert here a different value. For that we use input function in a Python. For that this variable store the, this is the input function. This function insert a value from the user. This value that after inserting stored in a variable name as well. We can also name it anything. It is the name of variable. So the when the value is inserted, it is stored in this variable. Okay.
Yeah, okay, ma'am.
Now taking input from consoles. Console is like if you guys downloaded that Python's ID. So in that you have learned about this is some screen was visual to you like this. So this is we can also take an input in a single line. We don't need multiple line. In console we can in Python ID this console we can run program in a single line. We don't need ID here. Okay. So this is what console from inserting. This is similar. Now we are going to typecasting the input to integer. Now we are applying typecasting. Typecasting is for different types of data type. Like number one, if we insert, let me show you. Right, I have written here a, and I am also going to take another variable b. Right, let name it a and it b. Let input. Okay, then we are printing a plus b. So shift plus 6. A values we enter like 4, then we enter the v value is 3. Now the output. So it is showing the output 4 3. It is not showing the sum of 4 plus 3, that is 7, because this when we insert the data in variable input function insert the data in a Python in string format. If we all remove these ports, then after the data is also going to be inserted in a string format. It is not going to be inserted in a integer format or float format. So if we want to change these insert if we want to insert integer values, because we want some here. So if we want to insert integer values, so here we write int function. After that we use input. This function will take the input as an integer. Now if I am inserting a is equals to 4, b is equals to 3, it will give me the output 7, because now we are inserting the values in a and b as integer value, not a string value. Remember one thing, whenever we insert in a variable or in any list, string or anything else, the input function input the data type data value in a string format. It does not input the value in a integer format or any other format. So this is what we call typecasting. We write int here because we want to insert the data type in an integer format. If I change it to float, now the data type that we are inserting, its value become float. We could enter here 1 or 2. Does not necessarily you have to enter 1.2 or 2.3 or anything else, because when we apply this float function, it will automatically change. If we insert value 1 as in a, it will automatically change the value of a is equals to 1.0. This is float variable, float data type. Okay, so this is the typecasting in a in a Python. Now typecasting the input to string. If you want to in if like I have entered here a, I remove this function float function, and also from here I take input. Like I write hello and hi. Then in a B, I have written yes. So this these two are going to be is this one is first string, this one is second string. If we have inserted any value in a other data type and we want to convert in a string, or if we want to particularly insert the data type in a string format, so just we use a string function here rather than using. Let me first show you what is the difference between this and this. Let me show you print data type of A and type of B. These are the functions used for printing the data types. So let me in 4 and 5. These are showing me the string. Okay. So this is the string. If we change it to input integer, it is going to be integer. If we change it to float, it is going to be float. Or we can also put here string to particularly define it as a string. For the string, I think we use str. So these are the class of string, and their sum is 4 7 because here string concatenation is going to happen. Okay, so these are the two inputs. This is how we take inputs in a Python. Now we have to take, if we want to take multiple input from the user. So like we don't we use like here a is equals to this and b is equals to this. For reducing, here are two variables, so we can input one by one. But if we want to insert 5 values or 10 values or more than that, then we use split method in a function. So it is like split input dot split. Syntax of this is max split. Okay, so this is something like this is the syntax input. Now let me show you. Here we insert the values x comma y. We can insert values in a two ways. Either we could use split function, or either we could define here. We want to insert in a two variables, so x comma y. For that, if we want to insert in a x, we want to insert in a 10, and in a y we want to insert 20. The number of values this side is equal should be always equals to the number of variable in this side. So if we write like this, the x value is 10 and the y value is 20. It is also it is advantage of Python that we can take an input in a single line. We don't want to like write like it x is equals to 10 or y is equals to 20. We don't want this thing. So this is the reduction of code. If we want to print here x and we print here, print function is used for printing the output in the console. So x is 10 and y is 20, so it automatically takes the value. Now we can use split function like x. We want to insert three values x comma y comma z. So we could take input dot split function. A comma b. See that input. It is not necessary to put any condition inside this. Let me insert 4. or 8. Output is 468. Profit of using split function is like you don't have to change the line. You just enter the value in a single row. If I am using this type of declaration, like I could also use here input function and comma input function. So for that I have to change the value. Ten and 20. So this will give me the output 10 and 20. Using split function, the insert value is going to be inserted in a single row. So this is the difference between these two syntax. And split function also used for how many times you want to insert the data. Now if we want to insert, for this we will first study list, then we will discuss this. Now output using print function. So we use print function to display output. Now here is some syntax like value that we want to print, comma. We can use separators. If we want to display output using some space or in a new line, so we can use these kinds of separators. So separators optional है. It is not necessary we need separator. And is also optional. If we want to print a new line, it is okay. If we don't want to print a new line, it is also okay. By default, when we in a print function, the new out the end function is a new line. If we print here this, and after again we print here print x and here print y. So after printing x, the cursor automatically shifts to the next line because by default the end function and here is new line. You have seen the result here. The output are coming line by line, not in a single row. Now we are going to study about basics of list. So list is what is list particularly. A list is a series of item in a particular order. You access item using index or within a loop. So list is like we are collecting some data in a like we have a box. Suppose that we have a box, and in that box we are uh, placing coins. So coins is like something that it could be of 1 rupee, 2 rupee, 5 rupee, 10 rupee. It could be. So these coins are the elements of the list, and the box is the whole list structure. So how to make a list? List is always created by the square bracket. Inside a square bracket, the elements are separated by commas, and string variable also always comes under the single apostrophe or the double apostrophe. It always, if you want in the Python, there is no character data type. There is string only. So it could be you could use single apostrophe or double apostrophe. You don't need to. If you use single, that is not going to be character. It is also the okay. Now we want to print the first item of the list. So to print list have index value. So for this, let me wait. So for track, the index value is 0. For read line, index value is 1. These are the index, means the value where the particular item is placed in a list. So track, red line, giant. So if we want to print the first item, we have to put it like print bytes square bracket and the index value, which index we want to print. If I run this program, it will print me the track. The output is track because we are printing first value. If this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. If I want to print the giant value, so it would like print giant. Its index is 2, so I am writing here 2. Uh, sorry, 0, 1. Alright, sorry. I have write the name of variable, not the list name. Bytes. So this will print Zine. Okay. So this is how the list is accessed. Now negative indexing. If I would like to print this variable, negative indexing is start from the backward. It has -1 value. This one is -2, and this one is -3. If I print -1, then what will be the output? I will show you. Bytes -1. The output is giant because at the -1 index, giant element is there. So starting in a list, starting index mostly the starting index is 0. You could also use 1, but it's in a proper way of convention. It is good to use 0 as a starting index, and -1 is a last index of the list. So these are the two kind of difference in a taking indexes. Now, if you want to print all the values of this, we can use here loops. Like many of you, I think, familiar with the loops, but in a Python, for loops have different syntax. So I will show you after later. Now, if you want to add an item in a list, so what you could do? Just create an empty list. Like I have created A. So this is empty list. If you print A, it will display you empty value. Now, if I want to insert a one item in a list, so a dot append. Append function is used here. We use for appending the value. If you want to insert in here string value, so I would write hello. Now, if wait, here if first I have print a, it will show me the empty string. But now if I print hello, a dot append, because the hello is now appended in a list, and a list have some value that is hello. Now I would like to insert another value. So a dot append I. Let me run it. It okay. Now if I print a, it will print hello and I. It print a means we are printing the whole list. So a dot append I means now list A has two variables values hello and hi. Append function append the value at the end of the string. Means if you have a list, then the append function this is index 0. Then now the new value that are going to be inserted at index 1. High is at 1. Now whenever you insert another value, it is going to be inserted at the index 2. So append function is used for inserting the value at the end of the list. Now, if you want to slice, yeah, there is another way of slicing a list. Slicing is like if you want to display only particular item from there to here. Now this is a list finishes. Now I want Sam and Bob should have in another list. If I want to insert only these two variables, so we could use slicing method here. Let me create here a list L1 L1 here finishers. Here finishers. I have write like this, and I am printing finishers and L1 both. I am printing print finishers and L1. So now see what's the output. In a finisher, there are four values. So that are SAM, Wow, ADA, and BA. In a L1, we have chosen the index here. If we do not put any, we could put here 0, or if we want to insert a value from the start, we don't put here any value and we skip semicolon. After that, this is the index. It is excluded, it is not included in a file, so 0 or 1. So here the two values are inserted in a list. Now if I want to insert Bob and ADA in a L1 list, so what will I do? Change this to 1 because the index of Bob is 1, and for the ADA index is 2. So we want to include ADA also, so we use index 3 because we don't want to add BA. So if I print this list, this will show you Bob and ADA. Now if I want to add last two variables, so the index of ADA is 2, so I am going to put here 2, and I want to insert last value also, so I could remove this also, or either I could print 1 2 3 4. If I write here 4, it will take the values 2 and 3 because it has index 3 and it has index 2, or either I would left it as it is. The output is ADA and BA. Okay, so this is the slicing in a list. If you want to copy any list, so you could use it like this. So the whole element are going to be inserted in this L1 list. The same list is created. Now let me quickly show you some examples of lists. This is the list. Okay, so if you print this length function in a list used for count length of the list. So if you want to check the length of this list or any list, you could just use length, function length, and name of the list. Now we have two lists, list 1, list 2, list 3. This is the list of type string, of string data type. This is of integer data type, and this is of boolean data type because their values true, false, and false. Now this is the list ABC 34. Yeah, so you could, I have told you that you could have 1 rupee coin, 2 rupee coin, and 5 rupee coin. So this is something like that. You could use any kind of data type here in a list. So it will print you a list. Now apple, banana, type function will print the type of the list. If I print here, it will show me the string. It is list actually. Class list because we are printing the data type of my list. Now this is the difference between 1 and minus 1. If I print this list 1, it will print banana. But if I this list minus 1 index is started from the last, so this is the index minus 1. Now if I in the next line, this list minus 1 slash minus 4. So this here indicating that we want to display the value from the minus 1. So minus 1 index is mango, then minus 2, then minus 3, then minus 4. So the minus 4 value is included, but the minus 1 value is excluded. So the output would be orange, kiwi, and melon. Three output. Mango is not included because the last variable that we are assigning here is not included in a list. Now I have told you yesterday about operator, in operator, and not in operator. So in operator is used in list for checking if there is any variable that we are for searching in a list or not. So if apple in this list, so output is true. Otherwise output is false. So apple is here in the list, so output is true. Now this list 1. This is called if we run this, let me show you. List is changeable. If you change the value of the one variable, it would change. So like first we have apple, banana, and cherry. Now we are changing the index value of 1 to black currant. So at index value there is a banana. Now we are changing to black currant. So now the output is apple, black currant, and cherry because banana is replaced by black currant. So list is replaceable. Now here this list 1, 2, 3 black currant and watermelon means we are going to insert at 1 and at 2 position at 1 and 2. So output of this is going to be change. It is changing the value. Apple. In place of banana, we replace it with the black currant, and in place of cherry, we replace it with watermelon. And the remain of these is going to be as it is. So this is changing of the variable or replacing of the values in a list. Now insert function. Insert function will insert function, and I have uh, told you earlier about the append function. Append function will do append the variable at the last. Now insert function is used for insert the variable at a particular index. So here 2 is the index there where I want to insert another value or variable, another element in a list. So if I run this, first we have three variables: apple, banana, and cherry. Now I am inserting insert watermelon at index 2. So 0, 1, and 2. 2 at 2 index, watermelon would be inserted and a cherry is shifted to the next index because we are inserting here another value. So in a string, we could change the value of the elements or we could insert the elements. So lists are mutable, means changeable. Lists could be changeable. It could have duplicate element. Now extend. There is two function. Insert, append, and extend. Insert function is used to insert a value at a particular index. Append function is used for inserting an element at the end of the list, and extend function is used to copy to string. Like this list: apple, banana, and cherry. Now we are extending it with a tropical. So this list now at the end of cherry, this whole tropical list is going to copy here. First we have apple, banana, cherry. Now we are inserting also mango, pineapple, papaya. So this extend function copy the whole tropical list to this list. So now the apple, banana, cherry, and then after mango, pineapple, papaya. So these are the list functions. Some of the list function. Remove function is used for removing the item from the list. If I run this function, if I print this list after removing banana, then output is apple and cherry. Now pop function is used for removing item from the particular index. And if I write without index pop, then it would remove the item from the last. Okay, so these are the some function in a list that we particularly use. I will for loop. I will explain for loop and while loop in the next class. So then after I will show you this list what is going to be happen. Now there's so many function in a list like short function or reverse function. You guys could Google it or I will share you some list link with you. So read it. Just read out these function methods of a list. Copy method. There is so many method in a list. Now let me show you something. Here this is something looks like string concatenation. So like let me show you what it will give you the output. List 1 and list 2. So this is like we could add two lists. List 3 is like we are adding two lists to insert the value in a 3. So this is another way of creating another list. Or we could also use extend function. So these are the some ways that we could copy list, create list, insert element in a list. Some methods are used for this. One now I'm going to just quick description of this string. So here I have write hello and hello. These two will print hello. These two are data type of string. I have already told you in a Python there is no character data type. That is only string data. It could you could use double apostrophe or a single quotes. So in a multiple line, if you want to insert a multiple line string, you could use triple quotes 1 2 3. So this is also a string, or you could use triple single quotes. So this would also be a multi-line string. Now for string it could be as array. Now, yeah, one more thing, in a string if you want to change the value of h2, let me show you, it would give you error. String is unchangeable. String could not be changes. So like hello world is this. I want to change h to j. So for this h have index 0. So for I like write I h 0 is equals to I want to replace this with j, h with j. So what will be the output? Let me check. It is showing us the error because in string it does not support item assessment, means it is not changeable. We cannot change the values of the string, means we cannot replace h with j or e with any other element. Okay, so we could only traverse through the string to find what are these values, but we could not change those values. So if h h at a at index a there e. At index 5 we have a comma because 0 1 2 3 4 and 5. This is comma is at index 5. Always indexing start from 0 from the front, and always back negative from the backward side. Negative indexing start from -1. So these two things are in a string. Now in function is also, now if for x in banana for loop I will length function is used in a list for checking the length of the string list, and also used in a string for checking the length of the string. Now here if we want to check string, like I am searching for the if free in a text. So here free is, this is the text, this is a string, and here free is in a text, so it will give output true. If we best in a text, best we search for the best, yes best, so it will give output true. Okay, so these are the function. In function mostly we use for checking in a list or in a string, tuples, dictionary. Now this is slicing. I have already told you slicing. Let if we want to print the value from index 2 to 5, means if we only want to print E L L O. So we are not here in a slicing, that last index value would not be included. It is excluded. So it will be printed from L. L has index 2 and index 3 and index 4. Index 5 value would not be printed. So LLO would be printed here. If we are printing like this, then the value that have index 4 till printed. Similarly for this. Now if we want to modify the string, a string have so many functions: upper, lower, strip, replace. We could not use assignment operator in a string. If you want to replace some value, we use function here. Like that we assign the variable in a list. We could not change the value in a string. Like here I have replaced the value of list 1 with black current, but in a string we could not use assignment operator to replace the values. We could only use replace function. There in a string there are so many functions. Upper function, it will convert in a upper, it will convert in a lower case, or strip function strip the words, replace split function. So there are so many functions. String concatenation I have already told you, we could use plus symbol for concatenating two strings. So these are basics of string and list. I will share you some link about string methods and function, string method and list method. So go through them, and for you I am giving it one task. You guys have to create an email slicer. So email slicer is like you user insert any string, like any email. So you have to uh, divide that string in a domain name and a username. Like I have an email Aditi at gmail.com. So Aditi is my username, at is a symbol, and gmail.com is a domain. So you have to split Aditi in a one item of a list and Gmail in a other item of the list. Okay, so I will share uh, Google Classroom link after some time, or I will share that assignment in a group right now. And if you guys complete it, you have to submit that .py file in a classroom that I have shared after some time in a group. So, okay, so are you understand today's assignment or not?
No, ma'am. Can you please repeat once again, ma'am?
Yes. Ma'am, you have to create an email slicer. I am giving it a name. Email slicer is just a name. So you just have to take a input from the user. So user is going to insert their email. After inserting their email, you have to apply a method that would split the your name in one item and your domain name as another item, and display in a list. Like I am let me show you. My email is Aditi Saxena. So the output would output would be like this is the string here Aditi. This is my name separated by my domain name like gmail.com. So this is my username and this is my domain name. So if I insert wait this I have written name email as it is. I have inserted it like Aditi as so you have to split these two values. You could done it using split function in a list and this is always you could in a list you could treat it as a like a array of characters. List is also array of sorry string is array of characters. So use it, and I will share some content with you. So guys go through them or study about other methods of list and functions. Okay. Now ma'am understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And Shrutika ma'am, I have already um, talked to ma'am, but she told me that she is going to talk to seniors about the recorded lecture sessions sharing is possible or not. So if whenever seniors respond to me, I will respond to you. What if I could share you the lectures? I will share it to you. Otherwise, it's not. If not possible, I can't share with you. For that, you could contact to your friends group friends guys. Start communicating with each other in a group like professionally. Don't I don't want I'm not saying like you have to text personally, but having if you guys are getting any doubt or regarding if you are not able to join the class one day, so contact with each other for the what is today or anything else. Okay. Okay guys, so I will share assignment in a 20 or 30 minutes in a group. So go through it and submit.py file in a Google Classroom. For that, I will share link. Okay. And you, if you guys having any queries, I am always told you could ask to me. Anyone having any doubt, guys? No doubts. Okay. So for today, this is Yes, and Yogita ma'am, do you are you able to understand English, or if you want to me to tell also explain in Hindi? ओके किसी को लैंग्वेज इशू नहीं हो रहा है ना पक्का से? ओके ओके, थैंक यू एवरीवन, मीट एट टुमारो एट exactly 1 p.m. okay.